side, because I mean somebody will be asking, so how do I earn my skills? I mean, I've acquired this, I've acquired that, a lot of certifications. Because I mean, my own background, as someone who has been volunteering for a while now, has also enabled me to know that I mean there's a really wide gap, that is still yet, that gap is, I will not call it, because I mean we're trying as much as we can to close it with everything. I mean, with conversations like this, we're actually doing our own bits to ensure that I mean there is that awareness, there is that enablement, there is that, I mean, look at all of these opportunities that our speakers have made available to us that some other people are not even aware of. And I usually also say that one of the blessings of COVID is that, I mean, we also came into that awareness and the limitedness of technology, especially digital education. Because, I mean, with the Google Classroom, with a whole lot of other things, some of us, we just knew that we could not stay where we were at that point. So we needed to still further our education by doing so many things. Realize that, I mean, education does not have to be conventional. It doesn't have to be within the four walls of the schools as we knew it to be. And so there was a need for us to say, okay, I mean, we are all stuck at home. What else can we do? How else can we improve ourselves? How else can we develop ourselves? And that's why, I mean, this brought digital education to the forefront. And at Slum2School, what we do is to try as much as we can to close the gap, to the education gap. Because I mean, I don't know how many of us have actually taken some time off to, I mean, there are slums everywhere. I usually say it, there's even in the most whatever countries in the world, there are slums everywhere if you really look at. And you realize that it just feels like this people are in their own world. And the education, in fact, education is the last thing on their mind. These ones want to eat, they want to survive daily. And you realize that if they are not well equipped, if they are not well, if we don't do everything within our power to ensure that they enjoy some form of education for their well-being, for their own mental development, for their physical development, for their financial development, then on the long run, the problem is still going to spiral down to us. So there was just that need to, to cope as much as we can, and try to fill that space. And that's what Slum2School has been doing, and reaching out to learners from ages 5 to 16, and ensuring that, I mean, they have access to education. And that tells us that when there are problems, I mean, we're also able to identify possible solutions. So when you realize that, okay, there's a particular problem, it prefers, an opportunity for us to say, okay, so what can we do and how can we solve all of this? And so for us, really, we have seen people like Tech for Dev come up to say learning and mentorship for learners, like I earlier mentioned. There's Andela, there's a whole lot of others that, I mean, other speakers have made mention of. For me, my major charge to us this evening is that our hunger should be greater and must be greater than the challenges we currently face. That's where lies the opportunity. Our hunger must be greater. Our hunger, our drive for a change, a better society must be greater, because that is where the opportunities before us, that is where we're able to see them. Because it's very easy for sale. There's no access to data. There's no access to digital education. How do we access it? How is this? It's expensive. It's not within my region. But the moment we begin to focus on all of those things, because when you start interacting with youth, you just see majority of us focusing on all of this, and then not even seeing the bigger picture, not seeing the opportunities that lies in our, within our environment. So and look at the amazing thing that we're doing. Look at the conversations that we're having here. I mean, all anybody needed to do to be on this call was to have data. You have data, you have access to a good phone, and then you're able to unravel and learn, and begin to tap into wealth of knowledge that you will not even know that are available to you if you do not make that conscious decision to be a part of this kind of conversation. So our hunger, that hunger is something that you should never lose. You should never lose. The way a thirsty person sees water, the way you go after the water, because I mean, it just feels like your life is dependent on it. Is the way the need for growth, the need for change should drive us. The need for impact should drive us. not just for you, remember, but even because of those that are connected to you, of those that are connected to you, of the level of impact that you can have on the life of others. Imagine an Africa where every young person has access to quality digital education. I mean, you seated wherever you are, at work, at home, wherever you are. Just imagine that's Africa where every young person has access to quality digital education. The vision can actually lead to increased economical growth, innovation, and a more equitable society. And how do we address this? We are already doing that. Collaboration between government organizations, private sectors. I mean, I think it was the first speaker, Emmanuel, that was saying that we can't wait for our savior is not coming from outside. We have to arise and become that savior. International organization, focus groups, just coming together, looking for how we can improve infrastructures, reduce costs, expand digital literacy programs like what we have here. And those are the things that we begin to, lend ourselves to, learn ourselves to grow, to continuous innovating, continuous learning. And those are the ways we can actually change the narrative to say, okay, the opportunity here, how can we maximize this? There are potentials here, but we can it's very easy for us to stay on the side of the problem and focus on what the problems are, or how do we move from there and begin to actually become the solution providers. And I think that's what this conversation has actually opened our eyes to say, see, beyond what we are aware of, beyond the challenges, are there opportunities for growth? Are there opportunities for expansion? Are there opportunities for impact? Yes, there are. And how do we move from there? Our hunger can begin to be our driving force. Our driving force to want to learn more, to want to know more, to want to, form reasonable associations that drive this conversation further, become a part of communities, that bring resources to change the narrative. So majorly, I would say, see, that hunger that is within you, don't kill it. Don't let Nigeria in you kill it. Don't let Africa kill it. It's a dream. It's God's given dream to you. And it's your point and your call to say, okay, you can actually be more, and you can actually contribute to change the narrative. I hope that I was able to just drive home some points. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much, ma. That was really amazing. We let you go. We want to ask you one question, just to rub minds with you more on and drive this conversation further. So my question would be, what impact do you see digital education having on youth empowerment and employment in Africa?
Amazing. The impact majorly that I see is it enables us to cover more grounds. You understand? Because initially, if we're supposed to just go the route with the traditional education system that we know it to be, then what is taking us, or what will now take us, would I say, 5 years, would have taken us probably 50 years. But now the reach is endless. I mean, you can actually be in your room and you are learning coding, you are learning quite a number of things, and you can even be taking 2, 3 courses at a time. I mean, the opportunity that digital education has brought to us is endless, super endless. And I mean, if you are skilled, if you are skilled, because I tell people it's not just enough for us, because I mean, I go on LinkedIn, I'm saying I want to celebrate a certificate. I'm celebrating, people are always celebrating one certificate or the other. It's not just enough for you to celebrate these certifications. Are you really applying yourself to it? And I think it was Emmanuel that really spoke to that, because beyond I'm getting the certification, apply yourself really which is why I think people should serve. The youth, as in our generation, should learn service, volunteering, because I mean, whether paid or unpaid, apply yourself to service. At that point, it moves from head knowledge to actually become something that you own. And that is where you can actually begin to close the gap, even in the workspace. Because I mean, I'm not going to employ you because you have a certification. Hello, do you know what are you bringing to the table, really? Do you know the skill? And, are you skilled at this thing? Like I mean, if you take it to the biblical, Joseph did not have any certification, but I mean, he was able to solve a national problem because he was skilled. So to tell you that, and so that's the breach, that's the gap that the digital education is bridging. So wherever you are, and I mean, if you are skilled at it, whether you are in Nigeria, whether you are in Nairobi, wherever you are, those that need that skill that you are will come in search for you. Emmanuel spoke to, he said, when people reach out to you, go to their LinkedIn page. What are you putting out there? So you have all of this certification, you just dump it there on LinkedIn and you are on, and you're out of it. Nothing to show that, okay, you're actually skilled. You are not building your track record, no portfolio, so to speak. So you do all that such that when a job seeker comes, and they look at you and your portfolio, they see everything you're putting, they can say, okay, beyond the certification, this person has actually, learned this skill. This person is actually has the right prerequisite to do these things. So really, it's digital education is closing that gap radically, something that will take years. Now with digital education, with digital skills, we are able to cover more grounds, and in a very, very short time. So in fact, the advantage is enormous, and the impact. So beyond you, one of the ways you can also build this is that you can begin to teach. So you've learned this certification. How about you start teaching people? You don't. It doesn't have to be something grand, but I just learned coding. How about I teach people for free? 5 to 7 years. I just want to teach them. And the more you teach, the better you become yourself. So service is something that should be at our core. Volunteering, in this generation. So I mean, digital education bridges the gap. It closes it, and it gives us, the speed to be able to do much more. Thank you.